Hello, everybody. Psychopath1 here. Welcome back to my reviews of Violent Shit. We are now talking about Violent Shit 3 Infantry of Doom. This is where it started to decline a little bit for me with Violent Shit. Violent Shit 2 is my favorite one, like I said in that review. But Violent Shit 3 is a whole other can of worms to me because this is the first one of this in the series to actually have like a certain story to it. Um, like, and it's not a very well crafted story either. But the way this film is set up, you've got an army of the Butcher Shitters, which are pretty much loyalists to Carl the Butcher, and Carl the Butcher Senior is in this one, so you get Carl the Butcher Senior and you get Carl the Butcher Junior. And if you're wondering if this connects in any way to the first two, no. And you should go into each of the Violent Shit movies as their own films because none of them are connected to each other at all. The only thing that's stringing them together is the fact that Carl the Butcher is in all of them. But anyways, this is where they started to go a little bit on the more campy side of things, and I refuse to watch the English dub of this. Uh, zombie, Zombie Doom is the name of the English version. Like I saw how bad that dubbing is, and I'm just like, nah, not into it. And the irony is, this actually comes with a movie that's dubbed in English. They couldn't get I guess they just couldn't get a hold of the original German version, or they might have just thought uh, the movie is called Zombie 90 and it's famous for its terrible dubbing. But I guess like they decided to put the English dub of Zombie 90 on there just for fun, which is cool. Um, I like Zombie 90. I'll get to that at some point when I probably review a bunch of zombie movies. But the weird thing about this one, the alternate title of Violent Shit 3 is called Zombie Doom. There is literally only three scenes with zombies in it, and the zombies barely do anything. They don't infect the other people and turn them into zombies. So I think if you were going to call it an alternate title of anything other than Zombie Doom, and you didn't want to use the word shit, I think what should have been called was Island Island of Island of Violence or something like that, because it, it's a very violent movie, but it's done so campy and everything, which I like campy movies. I have nothing wrong with good campy movies. But anyways, you're following these three characters. They're on vacation. They decide to uh, head off on a ship. Not really even a ship; it's just a regular boat. And they end up getting stuck on an island inhabited by serial killers who wear the call the butcher mask. And there's like a doctor who's experimenting on dead bodies, reanimating the corpses and whatnot. And he's got a Hitler stash, and I'm like, do we really need that? Um, I know they're poking fun at him, but still. Um, but anyways, the gore, it's an improvement. Like the improvement on the gore, like you get some pretty nice decapitations in this. You actually get a solid three people getting decapitated at once. Like they get put into a guillotine, and nice nice shot of just the blade coming down and all three heads being sliced off at once. That's a pretty good one. It's not the most extreme of the violent shit movies. I still say the first one's the most extreme when it comes to this stuff. Unless you're counting like genital mutilation, then the second movie definitely has that in spades with how brutal they got with the genital mutilation in that movie. But this one, ironically enough, might be the only one that doesn't have genital mutilation. Uh, because when we get to the next film, Carl the Butcher versus Axe, there is a pretty brutal genital mutilation in that. But anyways, um, this one, even though it's my least favorite, um, it's a cross between Carl the Butcher versus Axe and Violent Shit 3, which one's my least favorite. And if you're wondering, I will review the remake of Violent Shit the movie. Um, that's a completely different movie in itself. But this movie, after they get trapped on the island, the killers pretty much put them on a little quest of playing the most dangerous game. You are going to be hunted by the killers, and the object is you either survive or you don't. Those are the only two rules. You either survive or you don't. And the killers uh, all have like different types of different types of weapons. Like you got machetes, you got sickles, you got other things. And so uh, one person gets sliced in half, which is a nice effect. Cheesy, and I hate that term cheesy, but I don't know what else to call it in this case other than I guess cheap but fun. Cheap but fun. That's what I'll say. A person gets sliced in half and he still screams as he's getting cut in half, which to me is a sign that the director is just having fun with everybody. So yeah, go for it. Um, you get a person getting their arms cut off. So there's that. Get a good decapitation scene with a blade, like literally. Oh, that's actually in the fourth one. Never mind. Never mind about the decapitation with the blade. But the acting not gonna win any awards. It's shot on video film, so you're not gonna get the best acting. But overall, like the story, it gets the job done. But this film just to me is it just doesn't feel like it has that same charm that the first two Violent Shit movies had. And this is the first one that got released in America from what it says on the back here. Um, I'll actually read off the synopsis for this because this explains it better than I could. A group of friends get lost at sea and land on a remote island, but they are not alone. Captured by Carl the Butcher Jr. and his father, these men are subjected to a sadistic version of the most dangerous game, brought on by the Butcher Shitters and their army of metal masked killers, newly remastered by film's original producer. And if you're wondering about the remaster treatment, all they did was stretched it into a widescreen aspect ratio. That's really as far as the remastering goes. But I wouldn't have it any other way because shot on video films, regardless of how you put it, like they're gonna look uh, like really hard to look at type of picture quality, and that to me like just is fine with me. Like I've always loved like the low budget look of films, especially low budget German films. Always give me that over like CGI any day of the week. But anyways, we've got a good body count. We've got a body count of about 6, which is not the biggest body count for a violent shit film. It's actually the lowest because Violent Shit 1 and 2, there's Violent Shit 1 might have the biggest body count, and Violent Shit 2 might have the second biggest. But Violent Shit 3 has 6. So, yeah. Um, 7 actually, because the doctor ends up getting it too. He gets his nose cut off, but it's clearly a dummy that gets his nose cut off. But anyways, Car the Butcher, his look looks more like Conan the Barbarian in this movie. Um, like he's got like a really morphed eye. He's got like a long beard, like like a caveman beard. He wears like pelts, and he wears like this toga type of thing around him. Almost looks a little bit like a barbarian. And then Carl Jr., um, not Carl Jr., but Carl Sr., who's supposed to be Carl the Butcher's father, of course, um, has like this type of makeup on him to make him look burnt, but it looks more like somebody just put pizza on his face. So yeah. Um, uh, uh, Brad Jones, aka Cinema Snob, did a review over all four of these movies plus Zombie 90. So I suggest looking up his reviews if you want more information on that. But this movie to me, like, there's not much to talk about with this one. Like, there is really not. It's not the best, nor is it the worst. I can't really decide what is the worst um, violent shit movie, either this or Call the Butcher versus Axe, which I'll talk about next time. But Call the Butcher Axe versus Axe, that one has like its own can of worms to talk about. And it just doesn't go into the fact that it's got bad acting. Like the storyline to it doesn't even feel like a horror movie at times. It feels more of like an action movie with extreme gore. But anyways, if you liked my review of Violent Shit 3, even though I didn't talk much about it, I tried my best to talk about as much as possible about this film, but there's really nothing to talk about with this one. Other than the fact that the gore is fantastic. Well, fantastic might not be the right word. Charming. It the gore is charming in this movie. Um, and if you're liking my reviews of the violent shit movies, I hope you look forward to my review of Carl the Butcher vs. Axe Violent Shit 4.0. Um, uh, so I'll catch you guys later. Out of a 10, I'd probably give this about a 6, maybe even a 5. 5 being generous, 5 to 6 being generous. So about a 5. But anyways, catch y'all later. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this review. This is Psychopath1 signing out. And one more thing before I go. There's a lot of talk about a movie called In a Violent Nature. It's being talked about as the first film to be from the point of view of the killer. Um, nah. These movies are. Especially the first one. Literally, the first movie of this is done from the entire point of view of the killer. Yeah, you get cutaways of like different characters, but it's only to introduce the fact that they're going to get killed. Um, and I might be the first one to actually point this out because, like, I cannot find anybody comparing In a Violent Nature to Violent Shit. I might be the first one because literally, not a whole lot of people know about violent shit, and the people that do are like the extreme gore hounds, like myself and my girlfriend and her brother. So, like, people talking about how this is the first movie to be focused around the killer. There was Rise of Leslie Vernon, which I refused to watch that movie because I'm not really into the whole found footage type of aspect to it. Um, and Violent Shit. Violent Shit and Rise of Leslie Vernon, those ones, the main character was the killer. So, yeah. In a Violent Nature, it does interest me. I know the effects are definitely going to be better, but it's probably not going to be as extreme as what people are saying because German splatter films have always had like that kind of like dark, underground type of atmosphere to it, like with the gore. Like the gore looks real. Um, and what they used was pig parts and stuff like that for some of the gore. So yeah, but now am I going to say the effects are going to be bad with it in a violent nature? No, I have not seen it yet, but from the way the kills sound, they do sound pretty fun. Uh, but anyways, um, if you'd like me to review In a Violent Nature, I'd have to get it through like a digital platform if it ever gets released. Like if it's cheap on Blu-ray, I'll buy it on Blu-ray. If it's cheap digitally, I'll buy it digitally. But I am really in no rush to see it. I hear good things about it and I hear bad things about it, but most of the people who are saying bad things about it, don't think they've seen a whole lot of bad films. So yeah, and there are far worse than In a Violent Nature. You can watch Feeders. You can watch Troll 2, Troll 3, Quest for the Mighty Sword. Oh yeah. There's so many worse movies other than In a Violent Nature, and for the people who hate it and say that it's one of the worst movies out there, check again, because like there's far worse movies than that. But anyways, um, oh, I'll say one right off the bat right now: overrated as hell. Skinamarink. Nothing happens in that movie. I'll say that right now. Like I saw the movie, I watched the whole thing, and literally nothing scared me about that movie. It just seemed like some dude's art project. And I say this as a fan of independent films. That film literally had nothing going for it. I don't know how it got such praise. And if you're wondering, I'm not a fan of Hereditary. I'm not a fan of Hereditary. I'm not a fan of Midsummer. I find them to be boring. But I'll stick with Violent Shit, Burning Moon, Black Past. Um, this is coming from Germany portions. I'll stick with stuff like Ju-on, Ring, the original Japanese Ring movies. I don't call them Ringu, even though I titled it Ringu. Um, I guess I'm easy to please, but I'm also easy to disappoint in the process too. Like when you talk to me about like, uh, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, I'm gonna have things about it. Like either A, I'm gonna like it and it's going to be a really kick-ass movie, or it's going to be a big disappointment to me. And I was disappointed with Midsummer, and I didn't really have high hopes with Midsummer, anyways, because I didn't like the director's work in Hereditary. And I want to say the guy who made Hereditary made Midsummer. Like Hereditary was just not for me. Um, I know it gets a lot of love, but if you like it, don't be offended. Like if you like it, cool. Like we agree to disagree. Like the whole world is about opinions. So like I have my opinions, you have your own, but I just couldn't get into a Hereditary. And same here. Like a lot of people are not going to get into the violent shit movies, so definitely um, give these film a watch. You can find the first two on YouTube. I think the second one's still on YouTube. The first one definitely is. Um, and if you like what you see in the first one, give the other ones a look. They are really good. Well, really good might not be the best word, but they're interesting. So definitely check out the Violent Shit collection. And if you happen to like all four of them, definitely pick up this collection from Synapse Films. It's on synapsefilms.com and it's also on Amazon. I bought my copy from Amazon. So definitely catch you later. This is Psychopathic1 signing off. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the review.